Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So first, I just want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. I am back today with a one-page layout using the Abigail collection from Felicity Jane Studio. Unfortunately, she's no longer offering physical products to ship, so this is unavailable, but it is a beautiful collection. I am scrapbooking my husband and I's anniversary from this past July. I don't usually, scrapbook photos so quickly. I've been doing it a little more here and there, but a lot of times I stick with chronological order. But I decided I wanted to, one, play around with my new printer, which new to me as in the last 6 months, I guess. And then print the photos smaller. I love this collection, and there are some frames in this collection, and so I wanted to try to utilize that and see how I could use, those frames with some smaller photos. So you can see I ripped two different pattern papers. I apologize for the shakiness while I blend this. I am currently inside. A lot of the videos you'll see this month will be still from the She Shed because I worked ahead as much as I could. But I am sprinkling in some new layouts that I've done more recently. And so it's shaky because I just have kind of a plastic table set up and my tripod is sitting directly on that table. Whereas if I'm in the She Shed, I actually have my tripod on a different kind of smaller table that sits right in front of my desk. So I don't get that shakiness with that. So I apologize for that. I ripped the two pattern papers and then used the melon close to my heart ink to blend a little bit at the top and the bottom. I was going to do two different colors because there are two different shades in that diagonal striped paper, but decided against it and just stuck with the one color. And you can see I kind of picked where the divots in the paper are going to be as to where I placed the blending. So this is the frame I decided to use, and with the smaller photos, I'm actually able to add two of them to the frame. And so I'm going to do the top and the bottom one and then just add some paper to the middle one. So when I printed these photos, I did not have kind of this idea in mind. It just happened that two of the photos worked perfectly size-wise for this frame. And then I have two other smaller photos as well. I flip-flopped the position of the two photos because the one on the farthest right is pretty similar to the bottom photo in the frame. So I wanted that a little bit away. Those two photos kind of a little ways away from each other as far as I could. I then decided I must have got the big collection for this collection, the big kit for this collection, because I do have these journaling cards as well. So I did decide to use the journaling card to back the last open space in that frame. And I just measured the opening and then cut that. I'm going to just glue it there and kind of use that as a base almost for an embellishment cluster. Earlier you could kind of see that I did play around with the tags that came with this collection, adding one on each side, but then it really covered up a lot of that heart paper, and I really love that heart paper because this was our anniversary weekend. We actually happened to be, my husband's cousin got married I think the day before our anniversary, and so we just made a weekend out of it. It was so nice. Really maybe our first weekend together, I don't know, in years. I guess my kids have spent time with the in-laws during the summer, and so we've had like weeks together, I guess. But this was kind of a nice little weekend getaway. It happened to be our anniversary weekend. So I am going to commit to placing the photos down. I did go ahead and double back the photos, and I actually ended up using two more of those cards, the journaling cards, to back my photos. I don't love digging right into a whole 12 by 12 piece of paper. So if there's any way I can back it without cutting into a 12 by 12 piece of paper, I will do it. And this was just a great way to use up those journaling cards as well. You can see I am kind of struggling with how I want to embellish this layout. I really want to use that happy, and I love that little banner at the top as well. So I'm just playing around with that. I do commit to the rainbow, and then that circle says all the good things, and I added a heart there. So I'm going to kind of commit to that and then just play around again with placements. I decided to use that happy and then put anniversary, and again, not happy with how that was at the top. I kind of wanted, you could see me motioning there, I wanted that happy almost to be part of the triangular effect with the embellishments, if that makes sense, the visual triangle. And so that is why I moved that down, and actually, well, I moved the photo up, and then I'm going to place that happy on the bottom, and then I'm going to actually use these kind of green puffy stickers. This is actually the alphas that come with the collection, or did come with the collection. So I'm going to use that then as my third cluster and end up using that banner piece at the top. I did have to add some foam stickers, at the bottom of that happy, just because it sits up a little bit more because the top is overlapping the photo. I am using yet another journaling card. There was one that had this big, large bow on it, so I decided to fussy cut that because I wanted to add to the happy anniversary. I didn't want it just to kind of be plain, and so I decided to fussy cut the bow and add that to the bottom there, and I really like the way that looks, and I'm happy with, I guess, the size of it for that visual triangle. I play around in that top right corner a lot, trying to figure out how I want to kind of add to that banner. It's kind of plain as it is, so you can see I'm kind of playing around with the chipboard pieces, and do end up adding two hearts, one on each side of there, just to kind of anchor it, I guess. Did add a heart to the title cluster at the bottom, and then I really kind of want to use this bow here. I thought that would be kind of cute up on the have I been calling it a banner? I guess a banner. And then I forgot that I had these kind of epoxy, almost like enamel dots, I guess. I'll call them enamel dots. So I wanted to kind of add those throughout the layout as well. And I'm happy with the placement on each of the bottom clusters. But then when I went up to the banner cluster, I don't know. I started adding and really did not enjoy the way that looked. Thought it was just too much. I was not happy with it. So I was able to rip some of them up. In doing so, the sticky part of them came off, but they were easy to kind of glue back down with my tacky glue. So I'm trying to rip those up and I don't know, figure out what I want to do at the top. I love that bow, and actually I didn't use that bow there. I added that bow to the cluster on the left and found a larger bow. So I did end up using that at the top, which definitely I feel like looks a lot better. And then I am kind of scattering those, we'll call them enamel dots, around. I wanted to use up the ones where the sticky came off just so I didn't lose them. And so I was able to glue them down and scatter those around. And then I went into my stash. I have these freckled fawn phrases, and one of them said true love, and I thought that was just absolutely appropriate for that, and I felt like that finished off that top cluster perfectly. I do add one of those enamel dots at the top to finish it off, but definitely love how that true love phrase chipboard just finished off the top. So that is going to finish up this layout. Unfortunately, like I said, the collection is no longer available, but hopefully you get inspiration from the actual layout design. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.